And good evening. Welcome to Parrish's Pizzeria, first class pizza on North 2nd Street in Vincennes. Dustin Fuller with you alongside Shaun Soderling. We're going to talk about how the Alices did at the Jamboree this weekend. We'll also talk about how things went in practice, as well as talking about the National Olympic team for the women's soccer as well. So stay tuned right here as we're live online at alicesoccer.com. This is the Shaun Soderling Show. It's supper time. Mom doesn't want to cook, and you don't want to burn the house down. What option do you have? Are you going to go without, or are you going to call Parrish's Pizzeria? Parrish's Pizzeria makes their pizza fresh, from their homemade dough to the mile-high pile of toppings. And if you don't want pizza, they also have strombolis, fish sandwiches, and even tenderloins. Parrish's Pizzeria, first-class pizza on North 2nd Street in Vincennes. Call 882-7700 for delivery.
The new Max 96.7, 70s, 80s, playing everything. The new Max 96.7. You never know what you're going to hear next. Max 96.7. Maximum variety. Max 96.7. 70s, 80s, playing everything. Max knows music. The all-new Max 96.7.
Meet Tommy. Tommy's not sure which sport he will play in high school someday. But no matter what he ends up choosing, playing sports in high school will help pave the way to a happier, healthier life. All Tommy needs to do is make up his mind. High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport. Pure launching pad for life.
And we're back here at Parrish's Pizzeria, broadcasting live on alicesoccer.com. And some of you may be watching the video as well. Joining me today is head coach of the Vincennes Lincoln Alices, Shaun Soderling. Howdy, Shaun.
How's it going?
Hey, it's doing all right out here today. It's a little overcast, but let's talk about that Jamboree this weekend.
Yeah, it was yesterday. We had a nice little scrimmage against Boonville, typical Big 8 Jamboree, get out there for 40 minutes and play. It's kind of hard to really assess yourself after only 40 minutes because you kind of want to see how things would change in the second half. But I thought we had a pretty good showing on one side of the ball, and there's some things that we need to go and work on the rest of this week to get ready for the weekend.
What is some of the positive that your team took from the Jamboree?
I think one thing the guys really looked at was they're starting to become as big of a critic of themselves as I am. I've grown up in the whole good enough is never good enough type of mentality. They kind of said the same thing. It was one of the first times as a coach where after we got done, I said thoughts, opinions more than me just kind of giving my own, because I want to see if they had grown a little bit. They all responded with pretty much the exact same things that I was thinking, and that was a big point for us, is that now they're starting to recognize the things that they need to work on, things that we need to be better at, just along with the same things as I think.
I know you mentioned there were some spots that you need some improvement in. What are some of those spots that you feel that the ball club needs improvement in?
I think the boys need to take pride in defending. We've got a lot of very good one-on-one defenders, and if we can take all those one-on-one defenders, every guy that's in front of the goal, and make 9 to 10 really, really good team defenders, that's going to make us even better behind the ball. We are a team that puts a lot of numbers into the attack, but now they need to learn how to take those same numbers into the attack and put them on the other side of the ball and defend. Boonville did a really good job yesterday, sacrificing themselves pretty much. They didn't win any shot getting taken on their goal, and they were sliding around, jumping around in front of our shots, and not letting the keeper do anything. And I think that kind of woke the boys up a little bit, saying, "Hey, we probably should be doing that." And I have to admit, as a alumni of the Pioneers and a former defender for them, that's what we really took pride in, was our defending, not letting. We didn't want our keeper to even touch the ball. Our keeper was a great keeper, but we didn't even want him touching the ball because that was going to be less worries for him. So I think we just need to take a lot of pride in our defense because, like I said, we've got great 1v1 defenders. Now if we can take that, put the numbers that we put in the attack on the other side of the ball, add that plus the 1v1 defending, and we should have a very, very good defensive squad.
Well, if anyone didn't get to go to the Jamboree on Saturday, the Alices won their Jamboree game 3-1 with goals from Adam Klein, Kyle Richardville, and Eric Ramirez. Cameron Sandy in goal had a clean sheet for about 36 of the 40 minutes.
Yeah, we had a breakdowns defensively between some of our backs and kind of misplaced getting the ball out and landed right at Boonville striker's foot. And Blake Cobb, the guy who scored for him, is an excellent player. He was on a state finalist team for club for his Swissa team that Eric and Kyle both play on. And Blake's a great player, and I think he's kind of one of those kids that doesn't get the recognition that he deserved because of the school that he goes to. So, kudos to Blake for finishing the shot that he did. If it's one of those things where they say, if you're just going to give me the shot, I'm going to take it. And that's pretty much what a couple of our backs did. We gave him the shot, and he took it, and he put it in.
How was practice this week?
Practice this week was good. I think the week before school starts is really kind of shaky because there's still that, they're into practice, but there's also that school's getting ready to start type feeling. So practice this week was really good, and it's hard to train for 40 minutes of playing time. That's one of my gripes about the Jamboree is that it's only 40 minutes. I always train our guys every single day to go for 95 minutes at the max, and when you're only training for half of a game, plus it's that early in the season, nobody's really seen anybody. You can't really get any type of scouting information from anybody. You just kind of got to go off your knowledge from the last time you played them. So it made it a little bit difficult. So this week we just really kept it real simple and did pretty much nothing but fundamental work, working on getting numbers into the attack, and we did that. And the things that we worked on this week, we definitely excelled at this weekend.
Let's talk about the Olympics for a little bit. The women's national soccer team ended up taking home gold against Japan.
I was excited about that. I like we stayed on the last show. I'm diehard United States soccer, and I'm really I like the women's team just as much as I like the guys' team, just from being a girls' coach in the past. And our women's team is so good, and I think a lot of people really don't understand how good they really are. And we've got such a great group. The Japan game was a close one. Our girls played excellent. Kudos to I really think where we won it was in the middle of the park, and Hope Solo in between the sticks did an excellent job. And she showed exactly why she's the best keeper in the world. Some people even put her up there with the men, saying that, men and women, she could be the best keeper in the world. So it's a good thing that we have the best number one between the sticks. And when you got players like Abby Wambach, Megan Rapinoe, Alex Morgan, Carly Lloyd had a fantastic game, the 2 goals to score. That's a story in itself, to where they didn't think she was going to be good enough to play in the Olympics, wasn't a starter, starts in the final game, and blasts the 2 goals to win the game. And I think it showed a lot of her character to bounce back from that. And I actually saw an interview with Coach Pia Sunhaji afterwards, and she made the comment, they asked her about, not playing Carly Lloyd, and she said, it was kind of a challenge without really asking her to challenge. And she said, she proved to me that she can play. She's like, I'm going to be the first person tonight to tell her. So it's kind of cool from a coaching standpoint, to when you challenge a player like that, they step up on the big occasion. And from what I saw on a lot of their Twitter accounts, they've been celebrating very, very happily and joyous.
It's great to see them get gold, especially great to see them get revenge on Japan.
Yeah, but, the revenge word is so hard to use when it comes to the U.S.-Japan, because there's not really a rivalry. There's so much respect between those two teams that I think, just as sad as the Japanese players were about losing, the United States players were that sad about Japan losing because there's so much respect there. They talked about how the night before at the press conference when the teams were exchanging podiums that, there was always handshakes and hugs and talking going on between the two. And even afterwards, we were celebrating, but all of our players still had the sportsmanship to walk up to every one of their players, give all of them a hug, give them a handshake, tell them good job, and kind of soak it in with them because, we were on the other side of that just last summer in the Women's World Cup. So it's one of those things where, it's a good rivalry, but there's so much respect that it makes it even better.
Well, another thing we talk about the rivalry, even though there's not really one, it's respect-oriented because it's women's soccer and it's soccer close to regular soccer season in Indiana. It's got to drive up soccer around the area as well.
It's a proven fact that not just Indiana but America as well. When our country performs well in some major tournament, whether it be the World Cup or the Olympics or even the Confederations Cup, soccer population grows leaps and bounds. When the women won the World Cup the first year in 96, I believe it was 94, 96. The population in girls soccer alone jumped. I think it was well over 600%. And the boys, it's the same way to where for me, just as a soccer fan, it's cool that if I go around town and I'll ask teenage boys or kids in elementary school who their favorite soccer players are, I can't tell you how many of them say Abby Wambach or Alex Morgan. They don't say Landon Donovan or Clint Dempsey or Jonathan Bornstein. They mention all the girls' names or they say Hope Sola. Now, probably some of that is due to looks, but I just think it's cool for the sport that boys and men look up to those female players and say, I want to be the guy version of her. So that's really cool on our sport's behalf.
This one goes way back when. Mia Hamm, which is now Mia Garcia-Parra as well.
Actually, Mia Hamm Garcia-Parra. And it depends on which half, too, because she plays in celebrity games, and one half she plays as Mia Hamm. Then at halftime she'll switch jerseys and wear Garcia-Parra on there. But, no, I mean, Mia Hamm, growing up, she was the real big deal American soccer player when I was growing up. Now, I was a big Alexi Lawless, Marcelo Balboa, Eric Winalda fan. And in America, we weren't really noted for our attack. We were defending players, so that's why I got into the whole Lawless and Balboa. But on the women's side, Mia Hamm was scoring a goal anytime that she wanted to. So that was kind of the big thing when I was growing up. A lot of the guys, were trying to be her because some people call her the Michael Jordan of soccer, and I really believe it.
Well, while we have a moment, we want to remind our listeners and viewers that you can keep up with the Vincennes Lincoln Alice's on Twitter. Follow at Alice's Soccer or Alice Soccer on Twitter, and you can get everything that Coach Soderling puts on there. And yesterday it was pretty busy.
A little bit, yeah. I unfortunately I'm not allowed to tweet during games. That's kind of a bummer, but I understand it. We try to keep people as updated as possible. I might get my partner in crime, my girlfriend, if she wants to. Maybe she can tweet during the games, and we'll just relay the messages.
Who knows? Maybe we can have someone in the studio back at the Alice Soccer Studios
that would
put
be
that
my
up
house.
As well. Well,
but there would be nobody. There would be nobody there during the game.
Oh well, I've got someone back at my studio, so we can work on that one. When we get back, we're going to talk about the upcoming schedule, as long as some exciting news for Vincennes Lincoln Soccer, including games on WAOV radio, as well as much more to come. So stick around. This is the Shaun Soderling Show. It's supper time. Mom doesn't want to cook, and you don't want to burn the house down. What option do you have? Are you going to go without, or are you going to call Parrish's Pizzeria? Parrish's Pizzeria makes their pizza fresh, from their homemade dough to the mile-high pile of toppings. And if you don't want pizza, they also have strombolis, fish sandwiches, and even tenderloins. Parrish's Pizzeria, first-class pizza on North 2nd Street in Vincennes. Call 882-7700 for delivery.
The new Max 96.7, 70s, 80s, playing everything. The new Max 96.7. You never know what you're going to hear next. Max 96.7. Maximum variety. Max 96.7. 70s, 80s, playing everything. Max knows music. The all-new Max 96.7.
For just 2% of a typical school's budget, high school sports give us plenty of energy and excitement. For just 2%, they also give us young people whose leadership and commitment to excellence will pay big dividends in our community for years to come. 2%, that's one investment we can all feel good about. High school sports, pure spirit, pure sport, pure launching pad for life.
Ah, the sounds of Van Halen on the audio side of things. A beautiful evening as we're live on AliceSoccer.com for the Shaun Soderling Show.
Can I make a request song?
Yeah, sure.
See if they have Living Color, Cult of Personality back at the studio. I like that one, Eric. That'd be a nice one.
Yeah, that might be a great one to pick up. Who knows, he might be able to throw it on next break. Maybe not. Speak of everything going on in the Alice soccer country, let's talk about some upcoming scheduled events. We actually get to talk about the upcoming schedule finally. One game this week, it is Saturday. The Alice's host Terre Haute South. It's the regular season opener for the men in green. Let's talk about what you see in Terre Haute South.
We're excited. We view Terre Haute South as the standard for the sectional. You know, they won the sectional last year, defeating Terre Haute North, so we know that in order to make an imprint and to see if we truly are ready for the sectionals, this is going to be a great test. The best part is it's at the very beginning of the season. I'm a big fan of tough games at the beginning of the schedule. It's also going to be cool because it's one of the few opportunities where we only have one game a week. We've got pretty much after the second week, we play 2 to 3 games every single week the rest of the season. So it's going to be a good time for us to really get motivated, to really work hard on a lot of things and kind of see where we stack up. We know about a little bit about Terre Haute South. We know the guys that they've lost. Unfortunately, we don't really know much about the guys that are coming up into the varsity squad, but we're looking at as that's going to be our test. Yes, you have the preseason games to see how well you're doing, but with this being the standard for sectionals, this is where we want to see how we stack up for the rest of the year.
Last year there were some themes for the home games. Have you heard of any themes that are on the verge for this season?
I haven't really. Our fan selection, shout out to Tyler Frizzy on that one. I haven't really heard much from him on it, but I'm sure they'll come up with something. I personally, for the home game, since we did the whole white on white thing, I'd like to see a white out for that game, and then hopefully, if everything goes right, we'll have our fan T-shirts for sale at the game, and the students should be able to get them earlier in school.
Well, that leads us to our next topic, which would be WALV Radio, which is 1450 AM, 93.9 FM, and 97.1 FM as well. We'll be covering selected Vincennes Lincoln soccer games. It's a big incentive for the program as well.
I'm excited about it. One of the things last year they did the sectional game, and for me it was cool because the guys, it was able to get their name out there locally like they deserve, and I just kind of mentioned that they should do more games than just the tournament time. You know, let people get to learn the guys and then understand the game, and hopefully it works out for both sides.
And it's not just the boys' games they've got the girls' games too on some of the days. In fact, they get to start their soccer stuff on Tuesday when the Lady Alice's host day school. That is a 8 o'clock start, I believe. And the Lincoln boys soccer team will be taking on Terre Haute South. That can be heard on AliceSoccer.com as well as 93.9, 1450, or 97.1, depending which frequency you can pick up. Now, we're going to go ahead and move over to the golf outing. We're going to talk about the Alice Soccer golf outing. I know we talked about it last week a little bit, but The Alice Soccer Golf Outing is coming up in just a few weeks. August the 25th, it will take place at the Vincennes Golf Club. What does it cost to get involved as an individual or get a team?
Well, for an individual, it's $50 a piece, and then for teams of 4, it is $200. It's going to be a great cause, to help out our team. We kind of mentioned last week about how, soccer is a pretty expensive sport, so any type of fundraising we can do for the guys really helps out. We really take pride in the things that we wear, the things that we use. Our training equipment is some of the top of the line. Our uniforms and everything else is the same, and we want to make sure that we have the best of the best. And so this is a good way for us to kind of get out there, relax, and enjoy the time. Hopefully we'll get some good weather on that day, and everybody else will have a good time. Whether your golf game's great, if your golf game's horrible, if you can kick a golf ball better than you can hit one, that's fine with us. It's all about the fun. That's kind of the big thing, that the emphasis that we're putting on it is it's all fun, and it's all for the kids as well. So we're excited about it. I've got 3 different teams pulling my arm to try to get on their team, and I don't know if I'm going to play yet. I don't want to embarrass everybody with how good my golf skills are, but it's going to be a good time. I'm excited about it. A lot of people that have been texting me or calling me the last couple of weeks are excited about it, and we will actually have, if you still need to sign up, we're going to have the sign-up forms out at the golf course this week. So that'll be out there, and hopefully we'll get it put up on alsoccer.com as well.
And there's probably more things going on besides just actual golf. You guys contests as well?
Yeah, we're going to have your typical longest drive, longest putt. We're going to have a men's and women's version of both of those. Give some respect to the ladies, because some of them hit very far too. If you're like my girlfriend, you hit the ball kind of more straight up in the air than you do distance-wise, but she's learning. I'll give her credit for that. It's going to be fun. There's also some other contests going on that we're gonna keep underneath the covers until that day of the event. So it's just going to be a good time, and we're going to have lots of fun.
Sponsorships. Are you guys taking sponsors?
Yeah, anybody who wants to sponsor a hole or help out with the scramble can contact me through email at Coach Soderling, Soderling, @gmail.com, and we'll get you hooked up with us somehow, some way.
And if you wanted to, say, volunteer to help the soccer program.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Any type of help we can get. I know our boosters appreciate the help that they can get from anybody involved in the community. And really one of the biggest things that, we kind of look for in volunteers is, we want people who are not even involved in the game just to come out and watch. To me, that's the biggest thing a volunteer can do is to come out, watch, enjoy the games, and then kind of spread the word, so to say, kind of like a mini street team or something like that. So that's really, for me, that would be the biggest volunteer thing I would love, is just people coming out and watching the games and spreading the word of Alice Soccer.
Well, that is coming up on the 25th. It's the Vincennes Lincoln Soccer Golf Outing at the Vincennes Golf Club. When we get back, we're going to take a look at the Big 8 schedule from Soccer Ed, as well as talk about some other big news in Vincennes Lincoln Soccer. We'll be back in just a few minutes here on AliceSoccer.com.
It's supper time. Mom doesn't want to cook, and you don't want to burn the house down. What option do you have? Are you going to go without, or are you going to call Parrish's Pizzeria? Parrish's Pizzeria makes their pizza fresh, from their homemade dough to the mile-high pile of toppings. And if you don't want pizza, they also have strombolis, fish sandwiches, and even tenderloins. Parrish's Pizzeria, first-class pizza on North 2nd Street in Vincennes. Call 882-7700 for delivery.
The new Max 96.7, 70s, 80s, playing everything. The new Max 96.7. You never know what you're going to hear next. Max 96.7. Maximum variety. Max 96.7. 70s, 80s, playing everything. Max knows music. The all-new Max 96.7.
Meet Tommy. Tommy's not sure which sport he will play in high school someday. But no matter what he ends up choosing, playing sports in high school will help pave the way to a happier, healthier life. All Tommy needs to do is make up his mind. High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport. Pure launching pad for life.
Running down the dream on a lovely Sunday evening. Dustin Fuller with you, as well as Shaun Soderling.
It's raining.
Yeah, I know. It's actually raining. The grass might actually be green.
It's not lovely to me.
Oh, well, it's better than brown grass.
Yeah.
A lot of people have it this year. Before we get to the Big 8 schedule, let's talk about some of the seniors on the Vincennes Lincoln Soccer Ball Club.
Yeah, we got a great group of seniors. We got all of our returners from last year. Kyle Richardville, everybody knows accolades. 3-time area player of the year, all conference 3 times, all academic, all state, as well as all district as a junior. Broke the state record in assists last year. Eric Ramirez, the one name everybody knows, our big goal scorer. We're excited about what those two are going to do this senior year, because they know that this is the time for them to do it. I think we got a lot of growth from some other seniors. Austin Leonard's a kid who I think once he kind of works himself out of golf shape is going to be really, 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 really good. A lot better than last year. Stephen Cole, Cameron Sandy, our keeper, are guys that are consistently improving every single day. We've also got Diego Ventimilla, who is our utility guy. We just tell him to go somewhere, and he goes, and he plays that position. I don't think we're going to try him at goalkeeper, because I saw him at practice last week try that, and it wasn't pretty. So as long as he doesn't have to put gloves on, he'll be all right. Cameron Evans is another guy that's he just came onto the program last year. He's getting better, working on his fitness, working on his shot, and hopefully we'll have some big things out of him. We Gannon Brochin, another player we've got. That's what happens when you have 11 seniors. It's hard to remember all of them. Gannon Brochin's another senior. That's our main guy in the back. He's our bruiser. He's our enforcer, and I'm happy that he's on my team, because I refer to him as the baddest dude in the conference. That's him. He's the baddest dude on the conference.
And no kidding, he ran over someone yesterday like he was a truck.
You know what the best part is, though? It's all clean when he does it, and that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand, just because of where he learned to play at over in Japan, playing for a former Brazilian national team player. He knows how to play defense very, very hard, but in a super clean way, and I love it. I tell the guys all the time, be thankful that he's on your team, because that's a guy that you always want on your team. You don't want to line up against him. We've got a lot of players that I think is going to be doing big things this year as well. Blaine Hill's another senior that's holding it down in the midfield. I think he's continuing to grow as a player, which is really good on his part, along with Cole Claycomb, who's also in the midfield as well. And Cole's continuing to grow. He's a big basketball guy, but this will be his third and last year playing soccer, and I think that he's growing leaps and bounds, and he's a kid that literally each game gets better and better. So we're really excited to see the things that they're going to do. Just really pumped about our senior class. They were sophomores when I came here, and they were kind of our strongest group as well, and we really kind of put our project on their shoulders, and this is going to be the year to find out how the project went, and if everything goes right, then we know that we've done the right things the last 3 years, and it's early in the season, so it's hard to really kind of put a stamp on what it's going to be like, but here in a couple weeks we'll kind of get a good gauge and kind of early in the season evaluate ourselves and see where we're at, and then at the end of the year judge how the seniors played, and we'll go from there and see how the project works.
While we have a moment, let's look at the Big 8 schedule. It's courtesy of the crew at Soccer Inn. On the 14th, which is the first day for the boys, really, for a lot of the Big 8 teams, Boonville will be on the road at Heritage Hills. Princeton is at Washington. Evansville North will be at Mount Vernon. On August the 16th, Jasper's at Evansville Memorial. South Spencer's at Boonville. On the 17th, Boonville will be taking part in the River City Classic. And the 18th, Terre Haute South is traveling to Vincennes Lincoln. Heritage Hills at Mount Vernon. Washington will be taking part in the Hatchet Classic over at Washington. And Boonville will still be taking part in the River City Classic. So a lot of early season games that the Alices, well, not just the Alices, the Big 8 Conference will be seeing, but some of these teams, Heritage Hills, you'll see later on in the season. In fact, the last game of the season. Evansville North later on in the season around September. Just a lot of quality ball clubs taking.
That's a good thing about our schedule. A lot of people complain about our schedule, but we will play the most quality opponents that will actually play us, and we're happy with our schedule that we've got. You know, there's some games that we'd like to change to bring on more competition, but you know, it's not really our fault that nobody will play us. So we like our schedule. We like some of the teams we play, and we're excited to see how we stack up.
While we have a moment to pass it along to our audience on AliceSoccer.com that are watching on video as well as TV, as of 5 p.m. this evening, the Vincennes Lincoln soccer games will also be on HTN 21 for New Wave customers. So those that have New Wave communications will be able to see the game the same time that the game will be loaded onto the Alice Soccer website. So you'll be able to not only watch on the website, but you'll be able to watch on the television as well. That just got finalized at 5 this evening. So we thought we would pass that one along to you. Coach, any final thoughts for tonight?
I'm ready to go. Ready to get the season started, and I'm ready to see how this team does. We're putting a lot of chips out on the table, and we'll see how we go, and we'll just go from there. We want everybody to come out and join us on Saturday for the home opener. Best way to open up a season is at home, and the best part about Saturday is hopefully there's not a lot going on and people can make their way out and enjoy a great soccer game.
The Alices host Terre Haute South. We want you there. If you can't be there, the game will be on radio on 93.9, 1450, and 97.1. Why don't you just go ahead and bring the radio with you to the ball game?
That'd be fine.
I don't think anyone will oppose that. The games will also be on AliceSoccer.com for those that are watching online and maybe even another country, for all we know. The games will also be up as well. So keep tuned to AliceSoccer.com as we keep you updated on Vincennes Lincoln Soccer. I'd like to thank Coach Shaun Soderling for joining us tonight. Also our wonderful, talented crew, our camera personnel, Jeanette Fuller, as well as our producers in Josh Kramer, studio producer Eric Collins. And for everyone else at AliceSoccer.com, I'm Dustin Fuller saying thank you for joining us this evening, and we hope to see you out at the Alice pitch on Saturday when the Alices take on Terre Haute South.